Who'd have thought? E.g., a literary consultant.
Yes. Haruka here writes mystery novels, and he makes sure that all the science is sound.
So, does he come up with the crime tricks too?
No, I devised them myself.
That's amazing. I read mysteries sometimes, but I never know who the culprit is. Is there some secret to figuring them out?
Well, it sounds obvious, but every story contains a mystery. And there will always be clues to help solve that mystery. Just try to connect these clues, and somehow you'll arrive at a hypothesis.
Connect the clues to the mystery.
Yes. Well, something like that.
I see.
Connect the clues to the mystery and form a hypothesis. That's how you read a mystery novel.
Akari, you are an editor, right? How do you know E.g.?
I met him when we were looking for an advisor on scientific matters. We practically forced him to arrange today's session as well. Thank you so much for agreeing to meet us.
Ryoya insist on it. Please, make yourselves comfortable.
Thank you.
Oh, that looks very good on you.
Oh, Eiji.
It's been ages since I last wore a kimono.
You look so handsome in it.
She's right. I barely recognize you.
Well, I can't attend the cherry blossom ceremony in my regular clothes. It was all laid out for me, and most importantly...
You wanted to look good for Akari?
Of course not.
All the same. I'm glad there was a spare kimono for him.
Whose kimono is it?
Actually, this kimono was made for me a long time ago.
Oh, we have guests. I'm sorry for intruding. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Sorry. Have we met?
Yoyoi's only been with us for 3 years. Or perhaps you know one another from before?
No. There's just a familiar scent in the air.
That's probably me. I'm wearing a perfume with citrus notes.
Now that you mention it, that does smell refreshing. Anyway, this is our live-in housekeeper, Yayoi. You wanted to see me?
Mr. Shijima asked me to gather the equipment for the cherry blossom ceremony, but I just can't find some of the items.
Let's look for them together, shall we? E.g., I will join you later. Everyone, please go on ahead to the Shijima cherry tree.
Masanori! Setsu!
I'm very much looking forward to today, Ginsaku.
As am I, dear Setsu. Well, please come in. You too, Setsu.
Not here.
What did everyone bring? Oh, I can't wait.
I hear you're a collector of strange and bizarre tales, Setsu.
Yes, that's why my curiosity is so easily piqued. What have you brought?
Well, my item was once kept in a certain Hachiman shrine and venerated as a relic. Legend says it's the sword of Taira no Masakado.
Lord Masakado?
Indeed. Lord Masakado was beheaded, and some accounts say his head never rotted. One could say that his sword is connected to agelessness, too.
Let me hold it.
Be careful.
Whose blood does it thirst for today, I wonder?
That's enough, Setsu.
And as for my item, are you familiar with the legend of the Tokijiku no Kaku no Konomi?
It's what Tajimomori found in the mythical land across the seas, isn't it?
I see you've done your research.
It's my job, after all.
Masanori is a medical researcher who also works for the Army Institute of Scientific Research.
I'm investigating ways to make soldiers stronger, and that includes the topic of agelessness.
Apparently, a certain family has been watching over the fruit of youth for generations.
Well, that's news to me.
But then this family fell into ruin, and all the Tokijiku were lost. Although, I somehow managed to get my hands on one. Look!
My word, this is...
It was indeed a Tokijiku, the very same one I'd been trying to find. No,
It matches everything I've heard. So I thought maybe, just maybe, this could be the real deal.
Oh, you're all experts at this, aren't you? Now then, we can't leave your valuable items lying around like this. We'll store them in a locked room until the auction starts. This way, please.
Let's go.
Are you sure it's safe to put everything in here?
This door will be locked from the outside, and I'll guard this with the utmost care, so there's nothing to worry about.
What is this?
Oh, don't touch that. That's my item for the auction.
It's quite large.
Indeed. Let's have a look, shall we? Just a peek, though. One careless move, and we'll all be cursed. Huh? Yes, it's a mummy. You've all heard stories about how consuming a mummy grants longevity, I suppose. But this is no ordinary mummy. This here is a living corpse. Some claim it wanders the night in search of human blood. Whether this form of eternal life brings happiness is another question altogether, of course.
Let's return to the manor. There's still time before the auction begins at noon. Some light refreshments in the lounge, perhaps.
Yes.
but
No means no, Setsu.
Come on, Gensaku, please.
I have a reputation to uphold.
But it's a brilliant idea, isn't it?
I won't allow it. You are not getting this key.
Don't worry. No one will suspect a thing. I'll just tamper with their items a bit, you know? Make it look like mice got into the room. Then, our items will go for higher prices. And we can get theirs for cheap.
I've already told you no. My dear Setsu, don't you realize how crass you sound right now?
You have to understand, Gensaku. I told so many people about this auction and gathered all these items here. All because I want you to live even just a little bit longer. You'll give me the key, won't you?
No one can know that you got the key from me. Return it when you're done.
Setsu went into the storeroom to tamper with everyone else's items, lowering their value while raising the value of her own. She then put on the mummy disguise to make the curse seem credible, thus further increasing the selling price. Buyers love a good backstory, after all.
Ginsaku's mummy, Masanori's sword, Josie's dragon's blood. Setsu staged her living corpse performance using everyone else's items.
After ditching the mummy disguise, she intended to rejoin us and feign complete ignorance.
But then she was killed.
We know that the mummy was Setsu. Setsu was still alive around noon, which means the murder took place after that. That leaves only one person who could have possibly been the killer.
When I went to the storeroom, the door was open. I saw her inside, taking off the mummy disguise. The auction items were all irreparably damaged, so I went up to her and demanded an explanation. Without answering, she suddenly lunged at me, and in the ensuing struggle, that sword just